Good morning, everybody, and thank you for attending this press conference from Chautauqua County to launch our solar eclipse preparedness and to discuss how you can get your solar eclipse glasses. You do not need to purchase these. Chautauqua County, through our occupancy tax funding, has acquired glasses for our residents, and we will inform you as to how to best acquire those. Really, I'd like to take a moment just to thank everyone from Noel Gutman, Emergency Services Coordinator, and all the preparedness he has done. You see behind us a collaboration with our Visitors Bureau, our Chamber of Commerce, and our Health Department. And everyone has worked together. About a year ago, people often wondered, is this really happening? And really, up until about the last couple of months, there were some people that were somewhat skeptical, making a big deal about this. Is this really going to happen? Well, friends, it is. Once in a lifetime, we will have this experience of the path of totality, words that we've now come to live infamously here in Chautauqua County. Again, collaborative efforts between the county, our emergency services, our health department, our Chamber of Commerce, and our Visitors Bureau. Preparedness and planning leads to success. And that's what we are hoping for here in Chautauqua County. As Noel has said, you only have one chance to get this right. And we want to make sure that we get this right for our residents, for their safety, and for all of our visitors that we're expected to coming here in Chautauqua County. We encourage our residents to take advantage of the free glasses we're offering, and also making sure that you're wearing those glasses during the time of the eclipse. Our health department is going to be here to discuss that in just a little bit, but it's really imperative. As great and as exciting as this is going to be, there still is a safety element that we all have to be aware of. And we're going to talk a little bit, even our pets and animals have to be prepared, and then we have to make sure that they're safe. I was told most recently, please do not take a picture of the eclipse with your phone. It will do a great deal of damage to your phone. I was told they would melt it, but I don't want to take that chance. So again, make sure there will be plenty of professional photographers, and I'm sure a plethora of pictures of this great event. So again, a little advice I've been given from technical people: please do not use your phone to take pictures, as it will create significant damage. We're going to talk about the distribution process. Again, we'd like to talk to everybody and express our gratitude for all of the collaboration. I want to give you this email address, glasses@chqgov.com. Again, glasses@chqgov.com. Any of our residents watching, any businesses, any organizations that would like glasses free of charge, please send us an email and we will distribute those glasses to you. Interestingly enough, we've been down this road before, not in glasses, but in PPE and in masks. And if there's one thing we've learned through the COVID pandemic, is how to distribute things to our residents in a timely, efficient, and productive manner. So we're going to turn it over. The next person I'm going to introduce is Noel Gutman, our Director of Emergency Services, to share his thoughts.
Good morning, everyone. Just our overwhelming goal with this upcoming event is safety. I was made aware of this event a while ago at one of my meetings, and kind of the overwhelming response was, it's 3 minutes of darkness, so what? Well, what we've come to realize is it's the eclipse is just going to be such a monumental event for our county, our region, and we're really part of an international event. But our overwhelming goal is to provide safety and to guide people to how to be safe for this event. Luckily, in August of 2017, there was a total solar eclipse that went through the northwest of the country down towards the southeast. So we're able to learn from their lessons and what they expected. And what they found out is it brings a huge amount of populace to the area. And with that, traffic is just going to be potentially very, very difficult to navigate on the day of the eclipse after the event. What they found is about 70% of the people want to leave 15 to 20 minutes after the event. So our roads, could become very congested. So New York State has been very public, and we're kind of mimicking what they're saying is, come early and stay late. Come in for the event. This is we're looking at it to be a 5-day event. People are already showing that they're going to be coming in on Friday and staying for the event. We'll stay till Tuesday. That'll help everyone get out on time and not make it a traffic nightmare that we unfortunately are expecting. One thing that we're telling people to do is, this is Western New York. We know how to deal with winter. So prepare like it's a winter storm. Make sure your supplies are ahead of time. Your cars are fueled up ahead of time. need medications there ahead of time, just don't wait to the last minute. We're encouraging, people to celebrate this event and be safe with it. Make sure you get those supplies. Don't wait till the weekend. Make sure you're a couple days ahead of that so that we're not having supply issues for everyone. We will be working with our law enforcement partners to make sure the traffic is manageable as it can be. One of the things we'll be doing is we have some signboards we'll be putting out in the public, moving them all around the county, just trying to get that message out to be aware of it, to be prepared, and with some other safety measures. In our county, we have 42 fire departments. Every one of those fire departments is doing something from what I'm being told. They're crewing up where our volunteer departments are normally on call. They're looking at doing staffing schedules and crewing up and making sure that the emergency response is going to be as quick as efficient as it can be. With that, it's like to do a reminder that in 4 days, New York State will be announcing the annual burn ban. And we've already seen, due to the lack of snowfall we've had this winter, our vegetation is very dry. We've already had several wildland fires and grass fires, which are kind of atypical for this early type of year. Well, this event on April 8th is right in the middle of that burn ban. So we're asking people to be very cognizant of that and try and help limit those exposures. But our overwhelming goal like this is safety. I've said several times I'd rather be over-prepared and underwhelmed by this event than overwhelmed and underprepared. And as the county executive said, we don't get a do-over on this. We get one shot at making this right, and it's everyone's goal collectively to make this a safe, prosperous, and historic event that it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Noel. Moving on, one of the things we've heard that the multiple P phrase, proper planning prohibits poor performance, and that's just what Noel has done in the last several months and almost a year now preparing. We're now going to talk about eye safety and health safety with Dr. Falk, our county medical director, chief medical officer, excuse me, I don't know why it's escaping me, and Lacey Wilson, Chautauqua County Health Department Director.
So thank you, County Executive, first of all, for inviting us to be here today. My name is Lacey Wilson. I am the Director for the Public Health Department. Some may be wondering why the Public Health Department is here today and what role we have to play in this event. But if you don't know much about public health and what our County Health Department does here in our communities, is our mission is to prevent disease, promote wellness, and help protect our community. So of course, as you've heard, there's many opportunities here for us to prevent, promote, and protect our community. And I do have to, in addition to thanking the county executive, also thank some of the staff that have been working really tirelessly from the public health department side of things on this. Our public health emergency preparedness staff, who work in concert quite regularly with our emergency services at the county level, Natalie Whiteman and Tabitha Maring, who have attended meetings and who have brought that public health perspective to this planning and this great endeavor. Our community health and nursing division under Kathy Burgess, they've been working with our vulnerable populations in the community who may not hear about this event through other social media or our regular types of media to ensure that they're also safe and prepared for this event as well. And then our communications and our public relations staff, headed up by Sherry Rader. They've been doing an excellent job in combination with Justin to really get the right messaging out to the right groups at the right time. We are only as good as informed we are when these events come to fruition. So before Dr. Falk comes and talks about the actual individual safety and how you can protect yourself during this event to make this a memorable occasion, I just wanted to take this opportunity to educate our public and our community as to some things that we wouldn't necessarily understand or know had we not found ourselves in this extraordinary time. So you will see, of course, today and all over the place are the glasses that the planning department so generously designed and put together for us. On the glasses, you'll notice once you receive them that it says meets the requirement for ISO 12312-2. And what that actually means is there is an international group called the International Organization for Standardization, that's ISO. It's a non-governmental organization that convenes members from national standards groups of more than 160 countries. Our group nationally is called the American National Standards Institute, or ANSI. And these groups get together to set technical standards based on evidence and science and facts to ensure that we do things as best as we can and as most safely as we can. Specifically in regards to what we're talking about today, the viewing of the phases of an eclipse. So the relevant standard for us for this event is referred to as that number, the ISO 12312-2. That refers specifically to eye and face protection, like glasses for viewing the sun and other related eyewear. And then the -2 relates specifically to the filters for direct observation of the sun. So while these standards are in place, it's important to remember that the ISO is not a governing body, so they really don't have the authority to create law, although some countries and different governing bodies will actually adopt their regulations and their guidance as law. But it's important to note that because not necessarily every product that may be marketed as a solar eclipse, viewing product may be ISO standardized. So it is extremely important that you look to these ISO standards when you go to research products that you may be using. And again, the glasses that have been provided through the county are specifically rated with that ISO rating. So we want you to be careful. Of course, that's part of our mission as the Public Health Department, is to ensure that you as an individual are safe and making the best choice that you can. Of course, also the community and working in partnership with EMS on this event as well. And at this point, I will turn it over to Dr. Falk to talk more specifically about personal eye safety.
Thank you, Lacey. I'm Dr. Mike Falk, County Physician and Chief Medical Officer. So in the spirit of protecting the health of our community, we at the Health Department want to emphasize that without appropriate precautions, eclipse viewing can cause serious eye injury. We all know that it's not safe to look at the sun, but during the different phases of the eclipse, it may be more tolerable to look towards the sun with the bare eye, but we don't want anybody to do that. And I also want to add that children are especially vulnerable during this time as well. So what can happen? There is a medical diagnosis called solar retinopathy. The retina is the vital part of the eye. It exists in the back part of the eye. And when damaged by solar energy and the sun's rays, it can cause visual disturbances. Folks may experience symptoms of perhaps a blind spot in one or both eyes, more commonly both eyes, blurry vision, or a mild headache. These symptoms may occur within hours to days after the event of an unprotected viewing of the sun. And some of the symptoms may last for months, if not, in severe cases, may be permanent. At this time, there is no known treatment for solar retinopathy other than time. The vast majority of these cases resolve within months, but again, in severe cases, these changes can be permanent. In the event somebody unfortunately has symptoms following an unprotected viewing of the eclipse, it is very important to get follow-up from an eye specialist. There are things that we can all do to help avoid damage to the retina. Number one, Lacey talked about the ISO classification of the glasses. In the event you want to take a look upwards at the eclipse, by all means, put the glasses on. What we don't want you to do is sit back in a lawn chair with your glasses on and stare at the whole process during its entirety. We want people to put the glasses on, intermittently take a look up at the eclipse, look away, take your glasses off, do what you're doing, and at another moment in the phase of the eclipse, take another glimpse. These glasses are not meant to keep on during the whole entirety of the event staring at the sun. A lot of folks wear prescription eyeglasses. We want to make sure that folks put the solar eclipse glasses on the outside of your glasses. And in addition to that, we want everybody to know that no matter how dark sunglasses are, regular sunglasses are not going to protect your eyes. We especially want to emphasize using binoculars, telescopes, and looking through a camera can cause very serious damage. Most of the most severe reports of damage to the retina have occurred when folks are using a camera, looking through the camera, trying to get a glimpse of the eclipse, or using a telescope. That just magnifies the sun's rays and puts folks at more risk of damage. Again, I want to emphasize that we need to ensure that our children are supervised. Young kids are not going to understand not to look up during those times where it may be a little more tolerable to look at a partial eclipse. We want to make sure they are protected. So if there ever was a time that we could live in the moment and put our phones aside, April 8th is probably one of those. And again, we want to just make sure that everybody's protected and safe during this time. So thank you.
I just found a quick prop. Thank you for our health department, but don't roll the dice with your safety when it comes to this eclipse. Next, we'd like to invite up Andrew Nixon from the Chautauqua County Visitors Bureau to share their involvement and collaboration with our county. Andrew.
Thank you, County Executive Wendell. I'm Andrew Nixon with Chautauqua County Visitors Bureau. As the tourism promotion agency for Chautauqua County, we are excited about having a few thousand additional guests coming to Chautauqua County in early April for the eclipse weekend. Our emphasis is on providing information about what to see and do while in the area for the eclipse period. We have provided a lot of eclipse information on a special eclipse landing page of tourchautauqua.com, which is our website. Specifically, we've currently listed about 46 different eclipse viewing sites. Those are places that are opening themselves up, like parks, public places, but also some private businesses for people to specifically congregate and watch the eclipse. They're offering services, in some cases warm up, food and beverage, things like that. There's a similar number of eclipse-themed events taking place, some of them prior to the Monday eclipse date, some of them on Monday. About 20 events are taking place on the Monday itself. We're also listing hotels, vacation homes, bed and breakfasts, campgrounds that have vacancy remaining. I say remaining because a lot of places are already full. There are still some vacancies available, however, and so people can call our office and find that information out. We're listing dozens of attractions and especially restaurants. A lot of restaurants are closed Sunday afternoons, Mondays, so we're reaching out to places and encouraging them to be open on that Monday for the people who are visiting, as well as for the residents. If a tourism business does want to be listed on the Eclipse landing page of Tour Chautauqua, please call 357-4569. Our intention here is that the visitors as well as residents of the area will enjoy themselves for a day or two prior to the eclipse. That does seem to be a pattern with visitors. They'll come in Friday or Saturday, so they'll have 1 or 2 days prior to the eclipse date to occupy themselves. We have a lot to see and do in the area, and that's what we're encouraging people to do, and that's why we're wanting to ensure that attractions and restaurants are actually open during that period, which is otherwise a slower period for tourism. We would also like to thank Chautauqua County for purchasing the eclipse glasses. PJ mentioned that they are purchased with occupancy tax funds. Those are prior hotel and lodging guests that have been here in the past, and now they're paying the way for residents as well as this event's visitors to be properly protected. So thank you to Chautauqua County for that.
Thank you, Andrew. And I can just add this. If you come to Chautauqua County in April and you really find it exciting and amazing, wait till you see the trees blossom and wait till you see our summer. If you like it now, come back in the summer. You'll like it even more. At this time, I'd like to bring up Danny Heitzenreiter, the Executive Director from the Chautauqua County Chamber of Commerce, another great partner with the county in this great eclipse event. Danny.
Thank you, County Executive, and I want to echo Andrew's thank you to the County Executive Wendell and the County Legislature who approved the funding for these glasses, and our visitors past who helped provide that funding. And I also want to thank our partners that we've worked with throughout this process, really since the kind of end of last summer, including the County Department of Emergency Services, Planning and Economic Development, the Health Department, and a very close partner, the Visitors Bureau. At the Chamber, our mission is to provide professional resources, build vital connections, and champion our local businesses. And this Eclipse event, as has been talked about, once in a lifetime for our area, hits a lot of those different marks. We have also been hard at work trying to educate the businesses through a series of workshops, and again, in partnership with the Visitors Bureau, about the tremendous business opportunity the Eclipse offers, as well as the preparedness. To speak to the preparedness, as Noel has mentioned in previous conversations, businesses should really have kind of some safety plans. They should have their staff prepared. Of course, with the influx of folks we're expecting, you'll want to staff up. As well as look at their supplies, right? We've seen other cases, other areas of the country who have experienced a total solar eclipse where gas stations may run out of gas or restaurants may run out of food and have to split a sandwich amongst a family of 4. So that being said, it is a tremendous business opportunity. And as Andrew touched on, Monday is traditionally a kind of difficult day in the hospitality industry. I like to call it the small business weekend. Of course, our small business owners and employees are working throughout the weekend typically, so Monday is often a day off. But we've been encouraging folks to maybe change your hours, extend your hours, close a different day that week so that you're open. You can capitalize on this opportunity and serve our visitors and residents while they're out experiencing the eclipse. We also are collecting information that will be helping to promote the weekend of the eclipse, our businesses that are offering special hours, special events, specials in general. This is, again, in addition to the Visitors Bureau. So our local business community, I would say, please make sure you're filling out both and getting in that pipeline so we can, again, capitalize as much as we can. And in addition, back to the glasses, we are just incredibly happy to be a part of this distribution process as well. The county executive at the start mentioned the COVID-19 supplies and PPE, that we were happy to partner in getting that to businesses, and wanted to make sure we were on this list for the glasses as well. So as was mentioned, you can contact the county directly through that glasses@chqgov.com, and they can funnel it to the chamber if it's a business request and we're able to fulfill. We also have a form right on our website calendar businesses can go to just to help us centralize, get that order, and then we can have that prepared when somebody stops by. Or of course, if you just stop by our office, we're happy to fulfill your glasses when you get there. So again, want to thank all of our partners as well. And we are tremendously looking forward to this opportunity for our area.
Thank you. Again, thank you, Danny. And again, you know, we've said this before, the opportunity is once in a lifetime. This will happen again in Chautauqua County, a total path of totality in 125 years. I like to think I have longevity, but I don't have it that good. So we will all be long gone when the next group, and hopefully they'll learn from this. And I know we've talked about this before. We are taking advantage of other areas and their preparedness, their after action reports when we plan for this event. I'm asking everyone again, please be cautious going forward. As we begin our Monday on April 8th, it's going to be a normal day like every other day, hopefully bright and sunny and beautiful outside right here in Chautauqua County. But what we're concerned about is that time, I'd say anywhere from noon until about 5 o'clock. Expect increased traffic, again, especially on our thruway on Route 86. And those of us who know how to navigate the back roads of Chautauqua County, they're gonna end up getting filled too, as people want to divert from the main roads and try to take some of those back roads. So we just ask everybody to please be aware. If you have to make trips, please make them before noon, because once the solar eclipse starts, again, traffic could be challenging. Again, be prepared. We have things set up as we are ready to go. So at this time, we will take any questions from the news media. I know we do have some here in person and online. So the floor is open for questions.
We'll start, thank you, County Executive, with Greg Bacon from the Post-Journal. Greg?
How many glasses have you purchased? How many stations Do we have, they're giving away the glasses?
We have a large amount through a happy mistake in purchasing. We do have enough. There will not be any rationing of glasses. So if anybody needs to reach out to the county, we have plenty for every individual within our county. As far as the locations, do we have that on?
Yeah, we're trying to partner with our municipal partners, our cities, towns, and villages. Many of our fire departments are going to have them as well. And I believe working with Justin, we're going to get those list of locations out. So, we're asking, like, if an individual needs, 3 or 4 glasses, look to those municipalities, the local businesses, as our partners here mentioned, they'll have them out. But most of our municipality partners are going to have a supply to get them out as well.
Real quick, for others jump in, do you, for the Visitors Bureau or the Chamber, do you have any sense of how many visitors we might have that weekend and that day in particular?
People always ask questions like that and use big numbers. It's hard to tell, but I know that, with most of the hotels being full, and we hear the same thing about vacation homes, whether they're just regular vacation homes or they're Airbnb, VRBO related. There's at least 5,000 guests from out of the area spending multiple nights. And now campgrounds are opening early as well, so we're going to see a lot of folks camping. Campgrounds that are typically large units only are opening up in some cases to tent camping. So we just heard that today from Westfield KOA in Westfield, which is expected to be busy. So it's hard to say a specific number, but it's going to be several thousand.
If I could just add on as well, something really toward the end of our workshop that we conducted last week, that we started putting together from, again, the business community aspect, is not only the visitors who are in the county that we need to plan for, but we have a lot of major transportation arteries that run through Chautauqua County as well, right? So we have wanted to get that message out to businesses who should be preparing as well, especially along the I-90 corridor, for folks who may not be staying in Chautauqua County to visit or view the eclipse, but headed further north to Buffalo, Niagara Falls, wherever else they may be going. That's an additional population of folks that will be traveling through the county and need amenities as well. So we're really excited about that.
Great, thank you. Let's switch to our Zoom participants, starting with Julia Cecila Hanley from WRFA Radio. Julia, please ask your question.
Hi, everyone. My question would be, there was a mention about pet safety, and I was wondering, I didn't know if that was something that anyone was going to circle back to on that topic. We talked about children's safety, but here's a comment that there might be pet safety.
This is Lacey again from the Public Health Department. One of the things that we've learned about through this process is that, of course, in the middle of the afternoon when we experience complete darkness, that can be unsettling, not only to domesticated pets, but of course to the wildlife in the area. So as campgrounds are open and people are outdoors, of course, to view this event, there are some safety things that we need to consider there as well. In terms of domesticated pets and animals, I would turn that over to maybe Noel to answer.
I think we all love our pets, and I think realistically for our domesticated pets, probably the easiest answer is to keep them indoors. I don't think my golden retrievers would react well to having a pair of glasses taped onto their head. So I think just keeping our pets indoors. What the wildlife is gonna do. Some past studies from 2017 and beyond shows that they think it's nightfall again, and then they get confused again when it's light again. So there will be some. Unfortunately, we do live in an area here where we have a lot of deer on the highway. So people that are motoring and driving at that time, be extra vigilant for that wildlife that may be on our roadways. But circling back to our domesticated pets, I think the easiest answer and probably the most logical is to keep them indoors during that event.
Okay, thank you, Julia. All right, Greg Larson from WDOE is on here as well. Greg, please ask your question now. Greg, if you can unmute. We'll circle back to you, Greg. I see Spectrum News is on here as well. If anyone from Spectrum has a question, please proceed. All right. We can take some at the end if you're trying to figure out some technical difficulties. Let's move on now to Terry Frank from WJTN. Terry, if you can hear us, go ahead and ask your question. Okay, we'll move on now to WGRZ TV. If anyone is on from there, please ask your question. And then finally, WIVB TV. If anyone is watching from there, go ahead and unmute and ask your question. Do you have any additional?
One other question that I had, probably Noel will be the best person, but PJ wants this as well. What's your recommendations for private employers who have staff working first shift that day?
You know, that's a good question. And, you know, we can't tell any private industry or employer what to do. You know, some people had asked us, you know, there's different delivery companies that work in Chautauqua County, big, large corporations. So the thought is that those groups would, you know, take heed to recommendations that there will be excessive traffic. I'd rather plan for the excessive traffic and possibly not happen than to, you know, not plan for it and, you know, deliveries may be delayed, it's, you know, et cetera. My recommendation is if somebody has a private business and you are having any deliveries of critical nature, again, you know, make sure that it's happening prior to that window. Again, I would say probably try to get everything done by noon because I'm sure people will be here starting to, you know, enter areas where they're going to view. The big concern we have, and we've heard this from other areas over the years, that people just stop along the roadway. You know, if you imagine I-86 or I-90 as a parking lot, that's the last thing we want. And, you know, we have to remember there are truck drivers, there are delivery vehicles, there are delivery individuals. This is their livelihood. So, you know, again, we want everybody to be cautious, but, you know, private businesses, it's up to them how they want to operate. We will be having some definitive answers as to what we're doing with county business. The likelihood right now, we'll get that ironed out and get that information out shortly. But again, we just ask everyone to, you know, please, you know, pay heed. If you have any deliveries, you know, we're going to go out. You know, we need to be cautious of that. Again, you know, like as Noel said, our emergency services personnel are gearing up and getting into places where, you know, they may not be at their station. They may be at another place where it's easy access to the roads. You know, I could tell you just for, you know, informational, you know, if you come into the village of Lakewood on the 4th of July, it's bumper to bumper traffic before and after the fireworks. So, you know, we're anticipating something like that. We just don't know, but we ask everybody to be cautious, be prepared, and, you know, take any precautions you have. And I guess we just have to wait and see what happens.
Just to add on to that, you know, it's important to remember that the event itself, the eclipse, is not a threat. You know, it's a historical and scientific event that we're all going to be lucky to be part of. My biggest concern, I think a lot of everyone's biggest concern, is the traffic. And I've been very vocal from day one that anything we can do to lessen traffic on the roads is great. But we also need to balance that as we want to encourage our businesses to be open and, you know, be able to work with those profit margins and be able to take part of this. But anything we can do to lessen traffic, that is one of our number one priorities. And little things that we've been planning for months, and we've been working with all three of our hospitals in the county who are very well prepared, bringing out plans, you know, and just little things like they're not scheduling anything on April 8th. You know, obviously emergencies happen, but they're not doing any type of elective issues. So those are the type of things that are going to help try and decongest the roads before they even get busy. So.
Okay, any additional questions from either in person or on our Zoom?
Any predictions on the weather?
So a 50-year history of National Weather Service shows it's an average temperature of 48 to 52 degrees with a 60 to 70% chance of clouds. But what the Weather Service has said is just because it says that that's a high number, that means there might just be a cloud in the sky. I generally tend to be an optimistic, so I think it's going to be a blue sky that day. There's also some interesting scientific phenomena that happens with it. One of the things that you'll notice, and that the animals going back to that will notice, is there's an approximate 10 to 15 degree drop in temperature as we reach totality. And that has, plus with the increase, this year it's significant over 2017, there's an increased solar activity, which is going to help the solar heating, which could help dissipate the cloud cover. And well above my science skills, someone was explaining to me that the Lake Erie pressure in the atmosphere will also help with that to help dissipate cloud cover. So I'm very optimistic that these glasses are going to be put to very good use that day.
All right, as just was mentioned, we'll leave that weather forecasting to Dunkirk Dave, and we'll see what he does. But again, we invite everybody to please reach out. There'll be many local municipalities, 27 towns, 13 villages, 2 cities will all be able to get these glasses. So reach out. Our fire department's 42 in Chautauqua County, not to mention multiple businesses with direction, guidance from our planning department, the Visitors Bureau, the Chamber of Commerce, Emergency Services. We're doing what we can to get these glasses out. They work. I've got a very large head, and if they can fit me, they will fit just about everybody. So again, we ask everybody, the future is going to be bright in Chautauqua County. Make sure you have your shades on when watching this total eclipse. And thank you so much for your time. And we'll look forward to seeing you on April 8th.